Hi, what's up? So I'm back with Venus in the 12th house synastry, and I said, I'm trying to finish this Venus series, and see what had happened was I did the 10 in 11th house, and I said, why not go ahead and do the 12th house? You know what I'm saying? And then I'm be able to have all of them done, and then go ahead and then like finish all the synastry for the Venus. You know what I'm saying? So, Venus in the 12th house. Whoa. Well, this is something I've had people. It doesn't matter what planet, okay, what planet is falling in this house. From one person's planet into another person's house, in the 12th house period, it doesn't matter what planet is falling in this house. There is always this thing to where the planet person is feeling like the 12th house person is not getting it, is like ignoring the connection, is like being testy, is not feeling the same thing that they are feeling. Okay, or sorry, I've had some people say that they feel like the planet person is not feeling these things, like that the house person is feeling. Should I say it like that? I said this and I will say this again. I don't know why I'm feeling rather itchy right now. I have said this and I will say this again, because I've had some people say that the house person usually is activated and they always feel it, and they feel the synastry more than the planet person. And blase. And I have said this and I will continue to say this. I beg to differ. I feel like the planet person feels it too. Sometimes they don't know what they're feeling. Sometimes they don't know why they're feeling it. And sometimes they're kind of like, well, for some reason, something weird in their life or something experience that they're having in their life may be going on and you don't know about it, And if you do know about it, you don't know how deep it is. Because you got to understand this is the 12th house. And there's illusions in the 12th house. And a lot of times, yes, there's the aspect to the fact that the planet person or the house person, one or the other, is feeling a bit illusioned by the fact that they having these feelings for the other person. But a lot of times, the illusion is surrounding the individuals. That's where the illusion is taking place. Not necessarily that they don't necessarily have feelings for each other. And you have to also understand this. It doesn't matter what synastry aspects that you have with another person. It does not, mean that you're going to be with that person together forever. It does not, mean that the synastry aspect is going to be activated, especially if one person is like, okay, yeah, I know this chick over here is cool, he cool, he nice or whatever, but I'm not interested. Like, I don't want anything with this person. They may be interested in somebody else, to where there's another significant synastry aspect, and depending on what they're going through in their life and how it's playing out. Just because you have a synastry aspect with somebody does not mean that you're going to be with that person in any way, shape, or form. And I'm going to start talking about this more when I go into something like the asteroid placements and the North Node placements and stuff like that. It does not mean that you're going to be anything ever. But you do have the situation to where there's some type of lasting mark and lasting experience anytime you feel like you're head over heels for someone, but they're not returning it. Or vice versa, any time that's there, because it's really what it boils down to is like, what is it pointing out to you? What is it teaching you? What is it showing you? How can you grow from the experience? How can you move past it? That's really what you have to sum all this up as. And you cannot be afraid to feel the pain. 12th house, feel the pain. Feelings, Pisces, here we go. This is in deep feelings. This is why, yes, in this house, when someone is saying they're not interested or they're not reciprocating the interest or whatever, or the love or the feelings. One person is deeply hurt, possibly more than the other, because we're dealing with feelings and we're dealing with deep-seated feelings. It's not easy to move through, and it's not easy to move past and shrug off, you know. A lot of them are not, but this one especially. You know, we're here and we're in this house of like the subconscious. We are in this house of wounding. We are in this house of victimization. And the one person or the other feels victimized by the person that they feel like is rejecting them, because they don't understand, like, well, why would you subject me to this amount of pain? Or why would you do this to me? Like, you know what's going on. And like I said, and I will continue to say, both people could possibly feel this connection, especially when one person is really feeling like, hey, why are you doing, like, what? I thought we were on the same page. I know you felt this. I know you felt that. Like, what? We even, like, I don't understand. Like, we was there. We was, you know, all in, engulfed. And so when you got to follow your intuition sometimes, and when you know that you know that you know and the other person know, the person that's feeling hurt is feeling victimized. So it becomes a whole completely different thing and a whole completely different situation. So keep that in mind. But here we have a synastry that takes place like on a deeper level. You feel like you came together for a reason. And you could have been around each other all along, in the space of each other, in the vicinity of each other, but like some kind of way this aspect gets triggered, especially like if you're intimate with each other or whatever, and then after that it's hard to break free. You know, like this synastry, it happens a lot too in situations or relationships where one person finds it hard to be with the other person. You know, I noticed that when you're starting to get down to like that Saturn house, when you cross that 8th house and you start getting into the 9th to the 12th, it starts becoming lessony and a little bit more estranged and detached and separate and like hard to define. No different. I noticed those houses in the 12th house, they are no different. Like it seems like you guys are together. You can be together when you're together, but it's hard to define it. It's like the Venus person may want the house person to accept them for who they are and what they can bring when they can bring it. And hey, that could be whenever they can. Like that could be once a month, that could be twice a week, that could be random. Okay, now the Venus person isn't wanting the house person to do this for no reason. The house person feels like the Venus person knows that the house person has these feelings for them. The Venus person has feelings for the house person too, but it's in a way to where it's kind of like the Venus person is kind of like, well, I don't know if I could completely be yours. Like I'm yours, but I'm, you know, we don't really got to define what this is. And the house person feels like the Venus person taps into that part of themselves that they had hidden from themselves. You know, the house person feels like the Venus person is special because of this. And it's not that the Venus person is not. It's about what the Venus person can give at the time. Like the house person is like, man, like I'm all of a sudden feeling all these feelings. I feel very close to this person. I feel like that they can intuitively share things. Now, Mercury here is even more so. Venus here is like they intuitively know what the other person wants and needs are. Intimately too. So the house person gets triggered. And the house person feels like this special connection deeper because Venus puts it in touch. Here we go with the subconscious house. Venus taps into it. All of a sudden, a lot of things about the house person that maybe even they didn't even want to come to acknowledgement themselves becomes relevant, becomes present, becomes known. And the house person is like, dang, it's because of the Venus person. So the house person can gain something out of this. Both of them can. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying like the house person can gain something out of this to where they could turn their pain from this relationship into something that's like monetary or something with a purpose. Like they might decide to go after their purpose or something like that when this house gets triggered. And it can be very hard for them to work past these wounds and these feelings. And it can be very hard for them to let go. Like, the best thing to do in this situation is see what spiritual thing that they're tapping into. Like, to see where you need healing. To see, and if you're going to let each other go, you just cut cold, cut dry. And it's hard to do, but still. But the Venus person will possibly not admit. I say either one. It just depends. But the Venus person may not admit their set of feelings to the house person because they already feel like the house person is vulnerable enough. They already feel like that, and they just feel like, man, if I admit it, I'm defining it. Vice versa, I'm not going to take away from nobody's experience. So, yeah, it like this is a deep binding, connecting house, and you're in each other's subconscious, and you intuitively know each other. Yeah. You know what each other wants and what each other needs, but for some reason, sometimes it's harder to define this relationship. Because sometimes it's like, dang, I don't even know what we came together for anyways, especially if this relationship works with two people that come together when they're in a place in their life too, to where, and there's other Synastry placements, second place, don't get me wrong, that can bring this together, but to where they are ready to really go on this journey of mastering themselves. Because what ends up happening is when one gets triggered, if they're not ready, whatever this relationship is bringing to the forefront, they may not be ready to confront and face in their life. Because it could be something like to where they're like, man, I'm not ready to come out with this. And, I'm not supposed to be, with this white person. I'm not supposed to be with this black person. I'm not supposed to be with this person with this belief system. I'm not supposed to be with this person that's like significantly younger than me. I'm not supposed to be with this old man, this old woman, whatever. I'm not supposed to be with my friends at home, girl. Like, they used to kick it, and I'm not supposed to be with you. I'm supposed to be working things out with my wife, with my husband, with this situation. Like, they have an arranged marriage for us. Like, where did you come from? They want to still be in that world. They want to still be, deal with that because they're not ready to overcome it and surpass it. And this is why the knowing of the feelings that two have for each other is there, but it may not be defined. Okay, so, but when it's good, it's good. Because you literally get, and that's another problem to this aspect if people don't know how to manage it. You literally get with each other and you forget about the world. Like, everything around you can just go. You can create a world of your own. All right, so that's partners, Venus in the 12th house Synastry. I'm butterfly to the light, and I'm going to be back, except for I'm done with the Venus aspect. And when I come back, it's going to be something else. And I want you right here in the place, because this is the place to be. And I need you here with me. All right, y'all. I'm going to stop. All right. Okay, so I will be back. Peace.